was in the 2-year college degrees versus the 4 is because the idea of college being free was a lot more attractive to the students than going to a 4-year where it wasn't paid for entirely. Another result of this project was there was more stagnancy in high school. So from 9th grade, these students were told that they would get their college paid for, which made them stay in school and work towards that degree. So that just shows that, students will try if their education is paid for. We want to take advantage of that kind of opportunity. So just to review, students will have better grades if education is free because they won't have to work as much and they can focus more on their education. And more students would intentionally take advantage of free education, which would result in more students having better grades. And lastly, the idea that students won't try as hard if education is free is not true, and we saw that in the results of the degree project. So now I will hand it over to Taylor.
Hello, my name is Taylor Hagerman, and today I will be explaining to you as to why I believe that colleges should lift the tuition and fees off of schooling, and this will have the effect of individuals taking school more seriously. My first reason is I think it'll bring down a huge competitive manner. I feel that people don't really take school as serious within our generation and kind of choose that our high school diploma is the highest degree that you really need. I think if you look at the rates from in the 1990s to now, a lot less people now go to college, and I think it is due to the tuition and just competitive rate that many people face, including myself. This leads into my second reasoning, and that is due to mental disabilities. I feel personally having a challenge my entire life with school, and as I mentioned vaguely in our last speech, I have an auditorial disability, so it just is a little bit harder for me to negotiate around the school policies, and definitely knowing, even though as hard as I do try and not being able to succeed, and now going into college and understanding that my intentions is that I just want to have an education and I want to succeed in life and do my best. But even though sometimes I try as hard as I can, I don't always succeed, and sometimes I will receive a C, and not like an A or a B. And for me, that's a little bit, discouraging, especially now with the reason as to paying for it, I think that is just a huge downfall as to why, people don't take it as seriously. I think people don't really realize that many people face, mental struggles throughout schooling and have faced many challenges, and I think knowing that you're gonna have to pay a huge, fee based on that, and not everyone has asked to have these, mental. Do you think I've asked for, having an auditorial disability? No, most definitely not. But I do think that many people don't really understand that if we were to possibly, lowering down the tuition rates, or I love, as we all would hope, is to fully get rid of them, you'll just definitely see an increase in the rate of people signing up for college. Another reason is that lots of people don't really want to deal with the, burden of a student loan. Not a lot of people can afford going to college. And student loans, some people have to pay. Sorry for my wording. Some people struggle to be paying student loans off their entire life, and it has a huge toll on their actions as well as into future decisions and buying housing, or maybe not being able to go through with this specific thing because I have a student loan that I'm still paying off. And I just feel that it's kind of unnecessary, because at the end of the day, we're all wanting the same thing, an education. And I feel that it's one thing to charge someone because they're messing around, but for people who really are, a lot of people don't just join college because it's for, fun and giggles. They actually want to get an education and are serious about it. And I think it's one thing to charge people who are not serious about it, because it is really frustrating for teachers to be putting in all this time for students to be getting a free education and succeeding in life, just not to charge them and to see the ones who are lacking off. And I feel like a huge competitive, burden I feel with like having to do better than this person and this person, and at the end of the day it's all comes down to money. And I feel like that's what really schools are really deeply about when it comes down to it, is the money. And I think it's kind of so sad, because at the end of the day we're all human beings and we're all just trying to get an education and to succeed in life, be educated on what we want to proceed in the future, and build a healthy and safe career for us all as individuals. That was just basically my little speech and thoughts, as well as points as to why I feel that schools should be lifting fees and tuitions on colleges and school. I'm so sorry for my wording. I meant to say schools should be lifting the fees and tuitions to then make a healthier lifestyle for many individuals. Thank you. And now to be getting into our next speaker, Jesus.
My name is Jesus Jauregui Flores, and I will be presenting how free college would relieve student debt stress. So, less debt would equal more investing. Students will be able to live debt-free lives and be able to invest in their future. I know as a auto tech student, I will be investing in a lot of tools, equipment, specialty tools, tool storages, which cost a lot of money, and I will most likely have to do payments on them. Students will also be able to invest in their living conditions, such as rent, utility bills, water bill, gas bill, electric bill. Some students may be able to save up for a down payment for a house, or if they already have a house, they could use that money to pay off their mortgage. Students may be able to use that money to pay for a car. I know some students that don't even have a car and they have to either take a bus to school, or they have to catch a ride with somebody, or they get dropped off. Less debt would equal less sacrifice. I know students that sacrifice a lot just to be able to go to school. Students will not have to worry about how debt may affect them in their future life. I know a lot of students who go through a lot of mental health problems because of it, and they don't get any better after school. I know some of my cousins are constantly under stress because they don't know where they're gonna get the money to pay off their rent, their student loan debt, the utility bills, as I had mentioned before. And a couple of my cousins have also missed special family gatherings, special occasions in their own personal life because they just couldn't afford to get off work because of all these money that they have to pay. So the rebuttal to this argument would be the state legislature may need to raise taxes in order to make up for the cost of free college. This means we may see a raise on the taxes of food, gas, income taxes, maybe even property taxes across the state. We may also see, which we most likely see actually, tax raises on school supplies such as writing utensils, notebooks, binders, and laptops. Also, public schools may not have the funding that they need in order to be able to give their students the supplies that they need, such as textbooks, writing utensils. I know a lot of schools now give out free laptops, and it would be hard financially wise for the state to gather enough money to disperse it amongst all the public schools in California. So, in conclusion, free college will relieve students of stress caused by financial aid debt, but students will, students will be able to live debt-free lives and be able to invest their money elsewhere. I use myself as the example. As an auto student, I will be able to invest my money into the equipment and the tools I will be using on a daily basis whenever I work in the future. Students will not have to worry about how debt may affect them in their future life and what sacrifice they might have to make. Like I stated before, a lot of students will sacrifice physical and mental health and have to deal with stress for a good part of their life afterwards because they are dealing with this weight on their shoulders. The rebuttal to this is that the state legislature may have to raise taxes in order to make up for the cost of free college. This would mean we would see tax raised on gas, income, property tax. We also may see the funding for public schools dwindle down.
Hi, my name is Aurelie Seham. Our topic is college should be free. I think lifting school fees can help society overall, and here are my three main points. Society can grow where we all are well educated and advanced. For example, we can all help each other with research, lab work, vaccines, cures. Maybe we could all even just cure cancer for all the same level of education. Another reason is we can be equal to the point where we can be more involved in governmental and community items if we all understood the discussion. For example, let's take pollution. If we all sat down and had a reasonable conversation about how we could fix pollution, we might be able to fix it because right now the conversation is based off what other people hear and just opinions, whether it could be based off of research and actual facts. I think we could get a lot more solved and we could be a lot more involved in the way politics works nowadays, which we all can agree has not been working in the past few years. Another reason is that the homeless population would decrease because education equals jobs. I know right now to get a decent paying wage, you do need to at least have like a bachelor's degree or an associate, some kind of college, whereas a few years back, you mostly just needed experience. But now there's no experience without school and no school without experience. Therefore, it's a lot more difficult to find a job. People who are treated fairly and have equal opportunities are better able to contribute socially and economically to the community and to enhance growth and prosperity. I do believe that if everyone is equally educated, that the female and male problem with wages would honestly disappear because we all would be equal to each other. Maybe not completely, but I think it would solve most of the dilemmas. In conclusion, college should be free in the United States of America. Overall, as a society, we are kind of failing with educating those who were not educated. In my opinion, for example, immigrants that come from other countries, if they wanted to get a better education as adults, they don't really have that option because of the schooling fees and everything that they would already need to be paying for or housing, everything. So education being free would help our society not just grow, but prosper. Thank you. Overall conclusion, me and my group strongly agree that college should be completely and totally free for everyone who is willing to do it. And just to reiterate our points, students will have better grades if education is free, obviously less stress. Lifting school fees and tuition will make individuals want to take school more seriously. Free college can help relieve the stress of student loans/debt, can focus on more important things, for example, like rent, food, survival, basically.
Lifting schools can help society grow and develop. Thank you so much. We're Notorious Jack Tax. I don't really know how we're going to pronounce that, but thank you.